fear. I have mostly lived a life dominated by doubt and fear. What are your thoughts on how I can step into bravery?
I actually took this question from Twitter and I answered the question in one word. You've lived a life dominated by doubt and fear. How do you step into bravery? Step. That's how you step into bravery. Take the step. Step aggressively towards your fear. And that step towards your fear is the step into bravery. Because we're scared of what we don't know. And there is only one way to learn and to know, and that is to confront that fear. You have to step, you have to go. And this simple action, this simple attitude, it answers so many questions. So many questions. How do you get to the gym every day? You step. You go. How do you change your diet? You step. You go. How do you overcome fear of failure, or fear of success, or fear of fear itself? You step. How do you face the fear of the unknown? Step. Don't wait anymore. Don't think anymore. Don't plan anymore. Don't contemplate anymore. Don't make any more excuses or justifications. Don't rationalize anything else.
Let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Another beautiful, blessed, and grateful day coming into a fired up, another phenomenal session, right? We got the morning routine out of the way, the journaling, the meditation. We got some prophets for this morning, so I love it. Feeling absolutely joyful, fulfilled, ready to go ahead and dive in today. But before we go ahead and talk about the common fears and how to go ahead and counteract them, let's drop some gratitude. What is everybody grateful for today? Grateful for God, grateful to be alive, grateful to be healthy, grateful for the momentum, grateful for the mentorship, for the dream team, for all of the lessons, the trials, the obstacles that is coming every day, because we are being molded literally like a statue day by day. So I love it, fired up. Let's go ahead and get into the common fears. Here we go. All right. So today we're going to be talking about the common fears, and honestly, most of us have gone through all of these, but if you can understand where they come from, how you can counteract them, a lot of the things that are standing in your way right now, you're going to be able to bulldoze it and run right through it. So this is big, right? This is something that I've really internalized over the past couple of years, because going back, talking to my younger self, what are the things that I would go back and tell myself, 21, 22, when I first started diving into learning all of these different skill sets, right? Rewiring the mind, getting around these books, these audios, trading, e-commerce, right? This mentorship. Here's a couple of lessons, a couple fears that everybody has, whether we talk about it or not. But this is the difference on being able to really blow past the barriers that a lot of us have. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get to it. Number one of the biggest common fears, okay, is going to be the fear of failure. All right, this is big. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but success is 90% spiritual. It's really 10% physical. And the reason being is most of it is right here. It's intangible. It's things we can't touch. It's mentally, right? It's on the spiritual side. So at the end of the day, the first part to understand is making mistakes is essential. And we learned this over the training that I did a couple of days ago on how to actually utilize our mistakes to go ahead and learn. Okay, so I don't care what it is that we're doing. Failure, a lot of the times, is a part of the process, but here's the deal, okay? This is how we grow. This is how we actually learn and gain experience from everything that we're doing. So the next time that something comes on your plate and you consider it a failure, It's never a failure, because the second that you go into a new battle, right, you're on a whole different mission. So the second that you lose a trade and you go back on the charts, you're in a whole different scenario. The second that somebody doesn't believe in you, go out and you talk to the next individual, you're in a whole new battle, okay? You only fail if you quit. So this is the biggest difference. Number 2, making major decisions. This is huge, okay? Making major decisions, and guess where major decisions are actually, guess where they're born, and guess where they're actually brought into reality, okay? They're conceived in the mind, right? We've got a 3-step acronym that we pretty much use for honestly 4 or 5 years: believe, conceive, and achieve, right? If you can believe it in the mind, if you can believe it, if you can conceive the thought, you can go ahead and achieve it. So making major decisions starts out from the mind. The second step is on paper, okay? This is why we always say plan the week or you plan to fail. Show me your calendar and I'll show you your income. Major decisions have to be written down, right? And even for myself, how many of us have so many things going on that we get overwhelmed, that we forget about something that was important that we had to do because we didn't write it down? It could be meetings, it could be calls, it could be the schedule for the week. But this is what really got me to the next level when I started getting organized, putting things on paper, right? Putting the schedule on paper, getting time blocking down so I know what I'm doing throughout my hours in the day, but I'm not just guessing. In fact, I know what I'm doing actually before the day even starts. And this is big, okay? So making major decisions, it starts with getting on paper. You know, what sessions are you guys going to get on Go Live for this week? What days are you going to be holding events in your city? What days are you going to actually go out and plan to go ahead and get yourself some content to build your brand on social media? It all starts really out on putting it down on paper, and now you get to actually start identifying and analyzing what we did for the last week. So now we know how to grow coming into the new weekend, adjust and tweak on what we did previously, okay? So this is big. Third one. 3 is going to be rejection, okay? One of the biggest fears that a lot of us experience is going to be rejection. Now, I'd be lying if I told you rejection felt good, but here's the truth. Here's what I've come to learn. Rejection, the truth about it is, every time that you go out and you do something, you're going to get better at it. In fact, Jim Rohn talks about there's nothing that we can do on a daily basis for 365 days that we would not get substantially better at it, okay? So rejection, right? At the beginning, nobody could truly see what I saw, right? Everybody in my head, everybody in my city was negative. Everybody around me was not going to be able to go ahead and start developing a new mindset. That was the way that I thought. But you see, what we think about, we bring about. What we think about, we bring about. So when I started to change my thoughts, when I started not caring about what other people think, guess what? Things started to change. The world, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, started to open up opportunities, situations, and people right in front of my face. Because you know what the truth is? If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you either. Write that down. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you either. So guess what I had to develop? I had to develop an inner self-confidence. I had to develop serious, deep layers of belief, right? And the truth is, you know, when I started getting around this industry, I saw a couple people doing fairly well, but it was online. I had never actually met somebody in person that was really trading seriously. But sometimes, you know, they say to believe it and faith is 2 different things. Believe it, that means you see it, so now you believe it. Faith is being able to believe it, but without even seeing it yet. So I had saw people winning, so to me that was okay. But when I really started to see the skill set in front of my face and what you could actually do, knowing nothing about this, I finally was not worried about where other people thought, because I had seen so many different testimonies, so many different walks of life that came in here and took these skill sets to a whole different level, to the point where they're able to retire their family, give back to their parents, even starting out small, even to pay a light bill. To me, that was incredible. Pressing a button from my phone. So the second I really saw that, you know, for myself, I no longer cared what other people think. In fact, the first time that I made $7 on my phone, I was ecstatic. I used to have to go work an hour of work, hands and labor, cleaning toilets in the back of a kitchen, chefing up cheesesteaks for pretty much $9 an hour. So pretty much what I did in an hour, I did that sitting from my house, right from my phone. So to some people, they made fun of me. They laughed at me. In the first 2 months, I didn't make more than $100. Even like that trade that I just dropped in the chat this morning, that's a smaller account. That was a $30 trade. I did that in a matter of 45 minutes. So you've got to be able to think about it. Even some of you guys that had smaller trades this morning, put that in perspective. What if you compounded that over the course of this week, right? Let's say you had a $5 trade. 5 and 5 is 25. Let's say you compounded that for 5 days. You just got $125 in a matter of a week pressing a button on your phone. You could have just paid a small bill from your house. So when people started to not believe in me, I didn't care what anybody else thought because I knew what this skill set could do. I knew where this could take me if I really dove deep and took it seriously. So lo and behold, as time went by, time either promotes or exposes. And eventually I started to realize that at the end of the day, nobody's opinion can stop you from where that you're going, right? As long as you can see the vision, that's all that matters. Well, that's where that comes from. So belief, this is the core when it comes to rejection. When you know what trading can do, a $6.6 trillion industry, when you know what e-commerce can do, one of the biggest industries that anybody can go ahead and take and actually invest and make money from home, you start to realize that it doesn't matter what anybody else says because you can go ahead and take this as far as you want, okay? Next one, ignorance and a lack of knowledge, okay? This is big because now we're talking about fears. So the fear that we're so worried about what other people think, well, here's the truth. Most of the time, they have a lack of knowledge. They don't know about the power of trading. They don't know that you can actually tap into this market right from your phone anywhere that has Wi-Fi. They don't know you can actually build an e-commerce store and actually be able to leverage the holidays before they even happen, right? We're actually leveraging Halloween right now while most of the world is freaking out about what's going on. We are about to make so much money over the holidays, it's not even funny, but other people don't see the vision. Why? Because they have a lack of knowledge, okay? So this is big. So a lot of times, what does this start? This starts conflicts. You know, how many of us have ever argued with somebody that trading works, that e-commerce works, that NFTs are real, that Web 3.0 is real, that Meta is real, right? How many of us have ever done that? Well, Jim Rohn also says, from far enough, if you see two people arguing, they both look like fools. You cannot tell who the right one is. So you know what I stopped doing? I stopped having conflicts with people that didn't see my vision. If I couldn't switch bank accounts, if I couldn't switch lifestyles and be happy with it, I was no longer willing to accept their opinions. So I no longer fight with anybody. I don't have conflicts with anybody who doesn't see what I see because I know what it can do. I've seen how many testimonies this has created worldwide and even third world countries. You guys do realize we have individuals in this company making 6 figures a month in third world countries. And I'm not even talking about the money. I'm talking about the impact. I'm talking about the personal growth. I'm talking about the individuals they've actually become internally because of these skill sets and what they could do. You think they're arguing with people in the third world country of what this can actually do for them when they've already created massive success? No, because they know what it can do when they apply themselves, okay? 3 more. I got 3 more fears, and these are big. Next one is going to be, all right, I don't know if you guys know this. What are in the top 3 biggest fears of all of them, what do you think inside of the top 3? What do you think one of them is? Out of all the biggest fears that anybody faces, you know what one of the top 3 is? It's actually public speaking. Public speaking, in fact, more people would rather be in the casket than actually go ahead and speak the eulogy. That's true. And I'm not going to lie, for myself, I got a C in public speaking in college. Why? Because I was nervous. I didn't have belief. I didn't have confidence in myself. But as I started to grow, I realized that's kind of how any part of life is. How many of us are timid in something where we don't know what we're doing, where we don't have the knowledge, where we don't have a little bit of time and experience? If I threw you right now at the easiest job at McDonald's, most people would probably screw up that job. I would screw that up if somebody's like, let me get a McDouble, take off the lettuce, add the ketchup. You know what? Actually take off the cheese. I don't want that. That would probably take anybody 5 minutes to go ahead and put that in on the first day because it's something new. It's something that's different. Well, the same thing happens with public speaking. Not many of us are used to actually speaking in front of a crowd. Not many of us are used to actually speaking on a video and giving value. I used to stutter at the beginning. I used to have to take 30 takes to go ahead and make our videos. In fact, some of us that first started, we would literally switch off of our phone yelling at each other because we couldn't get it right. But we eventually realized the more that we did it, the better that we got. You see, every time that you go out today and you speak on your story, you make a little video, you speak in the mirror, you go out and you do something, even if you make a video and you put it on private, nothing gets easier. The truth is, we're just going to get better. And as I started to go to events, as I started to listen to big leaders and see so many influential people, you know what I started to realize? When you pay attention, you're going to notice a couple things. The biggest thing that I noticed, the person at the front of the room, the individual holding the pen, the individual in front of the whiteboard, most of the time, they make the most money. They make the most money. So not only did I see a skill set where we could take this as far as we want with trading, right, at the beginning, but I started to realize that public speaking, this was a skill set that is so crucial for anybody to develop. Because you know what the truth is? Public speaking is in all aspects of our life. If you want to go get a job, guess what? To get hired, you're going to have to learn to public speak. You're going to have to learn to get energy, to get enthusiasm. If you want to go ahead and get a significant other, you're going to have to learn to speak. If you want to go ahead and get a promotion at your job, you're going to have to learn to speak. So public speaking, this is crucial in every area of our life. So I started to realize, you know what? Let me go ahead and put some time in learning this. And you know what I started doing to go ahead and be that public speaking? A couple different things. Going to events, watching other people speak, looking at their mannerisms, listening to audios, right? Over and over again. Alex Morton, Jason Brown, Matt Rosa. I don't know if you guys thought that they were just great public speakers when they came out. In fact, all of them were terrible when they first started. They just consistently beat at their craft. And now it's not a coincidence why they're some of the top earners in the industry, because they're not afraid to speak. They're not afraid to use their voice. Alex Morton talks about being able to get bold. So important when you really start thinking about why are most individuals successful? Because they were going to do a little bit more than most people. Okay. Last two. Poverty, right? Second to last is going to be the fear of poverty, right? And I'm not going to lie. I was broke, busted, and disgusted 4 years ago in my car. I was terrified of being in debt. I was terrified of not having a job, having no idea what I wanted to do. But here's the truth about poverty, okay? It's a mindset. It's a mindset, right? Going back to whatever we think about, we bring about. When you start to develop a different mindset, when you start to actually expand your vision and broaden your horizons, you start to look at life completely different. You start to realize the power of a network. You start to realize the power of getting around like-minded people, reading the right information, right? Because nothing happens right away, but over time, you start to be able to actually take control of your life, and life is no longer taking control of you. So when you become fearful of money, when you become fearful of doing new things, when you become fearful of being broke, guess what? You're gonna bring more of that into your life. I literally had less than $50 in my account, and I was able to see what more than I had at that time. And this is where the magic happens. They talk about the feeling is a secret. They talk about being able to hold the wish of the feeling, hold the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is so true. Because you might not have the bank account, you might not have the training account that you want right now, but the difference is you're learning the right information. You're around the right people. You're staying consistent. You're developing discipline. So guess what? The only thing that's left is for time to catch up. My mentor told me there's only two ways that these skill sets really work. Either you quit or you become successful. It's very binary. So when I made the decision to not just treat this like a hobby, but treat these like real 6-7 figure skill sets, that's how it decided to pay me. But at the beginning, treating it like a hobby, hobbies normally cost money. So I had to develop a different mindset. I had to start seeing what I couldn't see, right? This is real faith. You can see your bank account, but can you see actually more that's actually in there? It starts with looking inside. And last but not least, it's going to be success. Believe it or not, people have a fear of success. I'm going to tell you guys a story. When my sister was little, right, with my mother, my mother told me the story a while ago. She was talking about when my sister was at the mall one time. They were actually eating lunch, and there was somebody that actually came by, and she tapped my sister on the shoulder, and she actually went on to present to her becoming a model for honestly a monster role in the industry, right, for Ford Agency. If you don't know who that is a huge brand inside of modeling. And my mother actually declined and told her no. And I always wondered why. And years later, I actually found out the answer. The truth was because she feared her success. She thought about, well, what happens if she blows up too fast and she gets around, the wrong people, and she gets around the wrong influences and the wrong things. She gets all these responsibilities that she's not ready to handle yet. And I went to think about it. How many individuals are like that with success right here, right now? We're afraid of all the abundance that's going to come into our life. Our mentor talks about it all day long. You know what he says? Are you ready for the love? Are you ready for the love? Because when you start to step out into new levels, guess what? You're going to experience a level of love, level of abundance that you've probably never gotten before from your family, from peers, from people that you don't even know yet. So you've really got to be able to think about, am I actually scared of success? Are you scared of succeeding? Are you scared of the responsibilities that is going to come with these different levels of success? Because you know you might have to do a little bit more, but here's the beauty of life. We can do more, so guess what? Therefore, we can become more. And this is huge. This is the beauty of growth. So, family, these are all fears that all of us face, but here's what I know. You don't need to be fearful of any of these. In fact, you can actually use these fears to go ahead and push you into your greatness, right? The fear of poverty for me, my back against the wall, I use that fear to go ahead and push me to do what most people weren't willing to do. On the weekends, the late nights, studying, going to events, sacrificing my time, my energy, my money, driving an hour, 2 hours just to get to events, just to get around the information, just to get around like-minded people. And I'm telling you, over time, it started to catch up. So that's my training for you guys today, family. If you got any value, go ahead and smash that like button. Drop some sevens down below. And if you are ready to go ahead and rid yourself of these fears, because here's the truth, right? When we talk about fears, there's nobody that's fearless. There's only individuals that fear less. So go out today and be the one to be fearless. I love you guys. Go out and be abundant. It is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, or have anything that you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. You guys are seeing this everywhere, from Earl Nightingale to KT. There's a reason why that's being said over and over and over again, because success leaves clues unless you're clueless. Go out and have a great day, family. I love you. More value packs coming. Let's go out and make it happen. It's game time.